Hello everybody, MegaZard's here. I'm back at it again to give y'all another exciting video. And yes, it is that time of the week where I take the time out to sit down and talk about all the gaming related news that has happened within the past week. And we have a lot of stuff to go over and discuss about, including some sales figures from Nintendo's in terms of how many Switch units they sold in software, some new game announcements, some DLC, some demos upcoming, and everything else in between. So go ahead and sit back and relax and get comfortable as we're about to go ahead and discuss about all these gaming related topics. So on Sunday, January 26th, we heard some news about one time when Nintendo of America marketing team wanted to actually age up the logo, their Nintendo iconic logo, but Reggie actually put a stop to it. And this is what Reggie basically had to say about the whole kind of situation though. When I joined Nintendo, there was a sense of almost shame that Nintendo appealed to young consumers, and the marketing team at Nintendo of America started doing things with the logo, the classic Nintendo logo in an oval. They would put it in a graffiti style, or they'll do different things and try to age up the logo. And I put a stop to it. I put a stop to that because that is not our brand. And what we needed to do was, yes, appeal to a broad swath of consumers, but we needed to be based on what the brand stood for and not doing it in some falsely way. So basically, you know, there were some people at Nintendo of America, their marketing team, and they basically kind of wanted to age up the logo because, we know Nintendo to be like a family-friendly kind of company though. So it's not like you don't expect like to get like a whole bunch of different games or like all just rated M. Like for the most part, Nintendo games, been mainly selling. They're either be like rated E for everyone, almost up to like a teen. Like we don't have like any pure Nintendo IPs or like rated M or nothing like that though. But back in the day, they kind of wanted to have some like third-party relationships with other people and stuff like that. And a matter of fact, it was like a friendly family kind of console or whatever though. It might have kind of put off some third party, so maybe that was the reason why the marketing team kind of wanted to age up the logo though. But thankfully, Reggie put a stop to that because I couldn't imagine, today actually seeing a graffiti kind of style logo for Nintendo. No, that iconic red and white has been working well for them throughout all these years though. So yeah, just some old news that kind of resurfaced up, from an event back in the past that's just new that we just heard about though now. But Reggie, man, he was always putting in that good work, and it was a good thing to actually hear about that. Now on Monday, January the 27th, Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers, is receiving a demo next week for the PS4 and the Switch in Japan. So you just got to keep your eye out on that one though. And the thing is, even though that's actually coming out in Japan, it's still possible for us in America or anywhere else in the world to be able to play that demo, because as long as you have a Nintendo account that's a Japan account, or if you have a PlayStation Network account that's also a Japan account as well, you can basically go into the eShop or the PlayStation Store and be able to download that demo from there and be able to try it out. Because I know I will, because I was really interested in Persona and seeing how the series is or whatever though. So I'll probably get my first little taste of that whenever that demo comes out though. So just keep your eyes out on that calendar, as that demo is supposed to go live for Japan on February the 6th. On Tuesday, January the 28th, we had a couple of things that actually dropped. And first, we got to talk about that Pokemon Home details. Now, if y'all hadn't already checked out that video, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner, as I basically talked about all of Pokemon Home in its to the full extent of every little detail that's in it though. But just a quick synopsis of what I basically said in that video is basically we basically got news of what Pokemon Home is going to be. It's going to allow you to be able to store up a lot of different Pokemon. There's going to be basically two main pricing tiers. There's going to be the basic plan that's absolutely for free, and there's going to be that premium one, which is going to cost. And it's like $3 a month. There's an option to pay for 3 months, and it's like $16 for a whole entire year. So there's some benefits and some non-benefits for choosing one version or the other though. The key thing is, with the premium, that's the only way how you're going to be able to transfer your Pokemon out of Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home, and Pokemon Bank is going to be free for the first month within February of Pokemon Home's release. So yeah, if you wanted to learn more about that, go ahead and check my video out on Pokemon Home as I go through all the nitty-gritty details on that though. So yeah, Pokemon Home should be dropping sometime early in February of 2020. Also on that day, we got the Smash Brothers 7.0.0 update that included Byleth for everybody that bought the season pass, or if you went in there and individually bought Byleth. Now, on that day, you know, I was able to kind of, you know, try out the character and stuff like that. He's you know, he's a slower kind of character, sort of kind of similar to an Ike or a Robinish, if you ever played, you know, with those Fire Emblem characters, or any other kind of slow, kind of sluggish, kind of moving characters like that, though. But it's just all about timing and spacing with Byleth. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with him, juggling that up B and doing the meteor effect on him or whatever, though. Oh gosh, and busting out that axe on people. Oh my gosh, that down special. Man, if you get caught sleeping, man, it feels so good to crack people's shields, turn around and use that down special again one more time, though. Honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with Byleth. I've been seeing, you know, a lot of people in the Smash community have been, you know, a bit salty. As a matter of fact, that, you know, we hadn't had another, you know, it's been all third parties up to this point until we got Byleth, though. But I kind of expected, you know, Nintendo wouldn't just drop all third party for their first party game, you know, or their first party game. So they got to drop a first party in there somehow, though. And I have seen some salty people with it, though, and honestly ran into a couple of matches where you see people's tags or their names or something like that say, you know, Byleth is bad or whatever, though. But honestly, I've been having a really good fun time with it. You can also manage to purchase, you know, the Mii outfits as well, so you can get that Cuphead one. That's the one I got, along with the music track, as well as a lot of other Mii costume outfits, though. So yeah, so all of that DLC is available right now for you to purchase as well. And also the Smash Brothers 2 Fighter Pass, or the Volume 2 Fighter Pass, is now available, and you can purchase that for $30, and that will set you up for the next 6 characters we're supposed to be getting within the next 2 years. That should last until the end of 2021. So that is about it in terms of all the Smash news. Now, on Wednesday, January 29th, we didn't really have much news or anything that I really wanted to honestly talk about, though. But then Thursday, on January the 30th, oh gosh, this is where a lot of stuff started dropping now. And we got the sales reports for the Switch and its games. So first I'm going to start and break down the Switch units and how well they actually sold. So the Switch has officially sold over 50 million units, and currently now, as of December 31st, the Switch has officially sold 52.48 million units. Just thinking about that in itself is pretty insane. And one interesting thing to point out is, as the Nintendo Switch surpasses the 50 million sell in mark, it overtakes the SNES, which actually reached 49.1 million units. And the Switch has now sold better than the Wii U, GameCube, Nintendo 64, and the Super Nintendo in terms of Nintendo consoles. So that's just pretty crazy to think about that in itself. And I do remember from the last time we actually got to hear like a sales reports of how well the Switch was doing, I think it was like roughly about 6 months ago. It was like around 32ish, around 36ish or something like that. So the thing, it went from like the 30s mark up into the 50s mark within the span of half a year like that. Is pretty crazy in itself. So I'm glad that the Switch is doing really well. And then in terms of the game software sales, we have a new updated list in terms of the top 10 best-selling Switch games on the console. And we'll start off with the number 10 slot and work our way up to the number 1 slot. So starting off at number 10, we have Luigi's Mansion 3, which actually sold 5.37 million units, which is actually pretty crazy because, you know, that game came out at Halloween on October 31st, and, you know, all of these sales reports or the numbers as of, you know, December 31st. So to think that, you know, within the span of 2 months, it actually sold 5.37 million units. So that's actually pretty good, and it's actually on course to actually manage to get to that selling point of, you know, Dark Moon on the 3DS, which was around 6-something million. Then we have at the number 9 slot, we have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 5.85 million units. Then we have a drastic jump up with Super Mario Party at 9.12 million units. I don't even know how that game is still selling, and we've seen a lot of different people complaining about, you know, how much little content is in that game compared to previous Mario Party's games, but that game just keeps selling. And then we have Splatoon 2 at 9.81 million units. It's really close to 10. Come on, I know you can do it. Then we have the Let's Go games at 11.76 million units. And at the number 5 slot, we have Pokemon Sword and Shield, which sold 16.06 million units. Now, think about this. Pokemon Sword and Shield dropped in middle of November, and these sales reports are at the end of December. So within like a month and a half's time, this sucker has sold 16.06 million units and managed to hit the 5th slot, right in the middle of the pack of the top selling Switch games. So this is pretty crazy, and it's almost pretty close to outselling the highest selling Pokemon game on the 3DS. So just to think it did that within like a month and a half span of time is really crazy. And then at the number 4 slot, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 16.34 million units, Super Mario Odyssey at 16.59 million units. At the number 2 slot, we still have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 17.68 million units. And lastly, at the number 1 slot, the one that still remains king, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at a whopping 22.96 million units sold. So overall, the Switch is selling gangbusters in terms of their console sales as well as their software sales. Because, man, you know, as a matter of fact, Pokemon managed to jump up in there. We also had Luigi's Mansion 3 managed to swipe in and get in that number 10 slot. You know, the Switch is doing really good in terms of its sales. And also, we got some sales reports of some other games that actually released in 2019, if you're kind of curious about some of these titles, though. So we have Super Mario Maker 2 that sold about 5.04 million units. Then we had Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening at 4.19 million units. We had Fire Emblem 3 Houses at 2.58 million units, so I was really curious about that. Then we have Ring Fit Adventure at 2.17 million units. Astral Chain, which is one of Nintendo's newest IPs, at 1.03 million units. So I'm really glad that, you know, that title actually managed to hit a million. And then we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 at 1.02 million units sold. So overall, yeah, the Switch is doing really good on those sales, and it was just really interesting to kind of go through and break all that mess down and see exactly, you know, how well certain games are doing as well as the Switch overall as a whole. Then next on this day, we also had an announcement from Obsidian Entertainment that announced that The Outer Worlds will launch on the Nintendo Switch on March the 6th of 2020. The game will launch on the Switch's eShop for $60 with a physical version coming at the same time. But get this, the physical version, however, will not include a game cartridge, but instead will have the download code in the box. So I imagine, you know, The Outer Worlds was going to be a pretty beefy game, and it was kind of be curious whether or not they were going to be able to fit it all on the cartridge. They ideally could, but, you know, with big AAA titles like this, you know, they wouldn't get as much of a profit if they actually put it on an actual cartridge, which is a bit unfortunate for people that are collectors or just like, you know, physical game media as well. And I actually took the time out to actually figure out, you know, what were the sizes on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One size. On the PS4, that game was 38.69 gigabytes, and on the Xbox One, it was about 36.78 gigabytes. So, you know what, that would have been pretty, it might have been, you know, pretty challenging, or might have been a little bit difficult to kind of squeeze it down on a 32 gigabyte card, because I think that's like the biggest one they currently have out, before they have the one that's the next biggest one above that. That's about double in size though. But I imagine, you know, there was going to be some kind of a download issue that you have to do basically in order to get the whole entire game though. But overall, you know, the game is coming out on March the 6th, which happens to be the same day that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX is also launching out as well. So either people are picking up like 2 games at the same time, or you're gonna have to pick and choose on that one though. But overall, I'm looking forward to this game though, so keep that one marked out on your calendars though. And then lastly, for the last little bit of news topic I have for y'all today, is the Nintendo Switch SNES controllers are apparently now back in stock. And the Nintendo Switch Online SNES controller has been sold out for quite some time, but Nintendo promised an update for January, and although the month is almost over, there's finally some good news. So you should be able to purchase the controller through their website. But however, by the time this video actually goes up, it will, you know, it'll be questionable whether or not this controller actually has managed to sell out again. I don't know about that by the time this video goes live though, but at the time of this recording, it was apparently supposed to, you know, you should have been able to actually be able to purchase these controllers though. So I wish everybody the best of luck, and let me know down in the comment section below if you were looking forward to actually getting this controller, and if you were actually able to actually get that controller though. But that was the last little bit of news topic I have for y'all. So that's about it in terms of all the news that I have to discuss about for y'all for this whole entire week. But let me know down in the comment section down below what all did you think about the Switch's software that they managed to sell, as well as the units. As a matter of fact, the Switch actually managed to sell up to 50 million units. And then also, are y'all looking forward to the Persona 5 Scramble demo that's supposed to be releasing next week? I know I am, and I should be going hands-on in there. Are y'all having fun with the Byleth release for Smash Bros, as well as are y'all gonna get into that premium option for Pokemon Home if you have those games, or are you just gonna be cheap and stick with the free option, maybe pay a few bucks to just get your old Pokemon off of Pokemon Bank while you can? But that about does it for this week's Gamers Brief, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, this is MegaZard X signing out for this week's Gamers Brief.